What if in the future the building industry does not know anymore what waste actually means, and that materials are in a constant cycle all over and over and over again? This is the Re-Materializing Housing Workshop. Well, we tried to implement a new thinking. How can we start to design our buildings and constructions in such a way that they never become waste, claiming that waste is a design mistake.
The problem of rematerializing housing is probably one of the biggest spatial and material challenges we have.
I believe the most sustainable buildings are the ones that already exist. Let's reuse existing buildings. Only after then we start thinking about building new buildings.
We use a lot of materials and we create a lot of contamination.
So I came to talk about using and reusing materials and keeping it at the highest value for as long as possible.
Working with natural resources is really a way to deal with two of our biggest problems, the climate change and the social injustice.
Think about industrializing the house building process.
Architecture and designs for humanitarian settings.
What we had here was global knowledge basically coming together.
Each one of us as individuals can make some change, but we have to work collectively to change the world.
We asked the students this week to take a different approach into design and architecture and to test so-called urban leftovers and make sure that instead of demolishing these structures, work with them and basically give these structures in these buildings a second, a third and a fourth life.
And you could see how their ideas evolved from day to day based on the input that they also got out of the lectures every day.
This week we developed a project about how to put new materials into an existing building.
The aim of the project was how we can reuse an old building.
So we designed a program that incorporates housing with material upcycling.
So we worked on the project of the Eastgate Tower in Boston. It's been declared as now useless,
and rather than demolish it, see how we might be able to reimagine housing.
The idea is that you can inhabit a structure and use locally recycled materials in order to create your home with your neighbors.
And we found materials that we could use perfectly.
And we rematerialized it, we reused it.
We relooked at the Watson's Hotel in Mumbai and wanted to readapt it in terms of its use.
We did a almost incremental project for migrant workers and survivalist workers.
And we were thinking around how we could empower the people and the communities to come together and with the architects renovate the building.
We had these three drillings, one could say, a test bed for a hypothesis, understanding the stream and the system of material waste and not see it as something that we simply hide and destroy, but something that we are cherishing and basically bringing back to the construction industry. And the students in this week actually showed and demonstrated how this, with even current technology, could also be possible.
Architects have a very important role. They think they are just designing a place for us to live, but actually their design determines how we live.
My advice would be to really listen to your heart.
Just go and try and start it. And on the journey, you don't make mistakes, you have learnings.
Be conscious of our enormous responsibility.
Because we deal with so many resources, we built with so much money.
There is always resistance. There is always people that it cannot be done. There are always good reasons to maintain the status quo.
But I'm an optimist, and I do believe that all you young people will work very hard to make a better world for all of you and my grandchildren.